everyone out there in Bookland world. We are super stoked to have you here for the second installment of the World Book Day Book Club. And I'm your host, Kenny Baraka. We are rather fortunate today to have with us best-selling author, known throughout the multiverse for her incredibly well-written, thus horribly popular Horrid Henry series, as well as having recently penned her new book, Two Terrible Vikings, the first in a brand new series. How you doing today, Francesca?
I'm doing absolutely fine, all the better because I get to admire your gorgeous hat, which blends beautifully with your wall. So I'm very jealous of all the care and attention that's gone into this. And your sweatshirt, what am I saying? You are just a revelation in color.
Careful crafting, careful crafting. Francesca, a lot of our readers, a lot of our viewers will know a lot about what you've written, but they might not know as much about you. Can you tell us something about yourself? Can you tell us something about yourself that no one would ever guess by looking at you?
I think what no one would guess by looking at me is that I am a beach bunny, and that I grew up in Malibu, and I spent any time that I wasn't in school or reading on the beach. So I never wear shoes if I can possibly avoid it. And I am one of those people who will fling themselves into the water even if it's really cold.
You know, that's funny. That's a great segue because we're thinking about things that go along with reading. Obviously, I think the beach really goes along with reading. You know, it's kind of a nice partnership. Like any good grouping of people in any proper book club, snacking is actually quite important to us. You have to have snacks when you're reading. It's kind of like, you know, the one goes with the other. It's the accoutrement. If you were to suggest a snack that would go along with this book, what might it be?
Well, I was thinking about this because, of course, in Viking times, a snack would probably be whale blubber, but I'm not sure that would be such a great snack. So if you wanted to kind of get into the Viking spirit, it would be berries and nuts. So strawberries, blueberries, and any kind of nut. But I like your snacking idea because when I was a kid and I used to read about 6 hours a day, I was allowed one packet of M&Ms a day, and I would line them up and eat them really slowly because they had to last for my, 6-hour reads. I would line them up 2 by 2 and just eat them very slowly. But yes, fruits and any kind of fruit, berry, or nuts would be the perfect snack.
We're foraging.
Or wild onions and wild leeks if you...
Leek! Oh my goodness. Fantastic segue, Francesca. Leek.
Whoa.
In this world of leeks, in this time of leeks, might you be able, because obviously we all really would like to read the book, but might you be able to leak us a little something about the book?
Ooh. Well, Two Terrible Vikings is about, you'll be shocked to hear, two terrible Vikings. The Viking twins Hack and Whack and their gang of friends, Dirty Ulf, the girl who never wants to have a bath, and Twisty Pants, who's always bragging about all the trolls and giants and ogres he's fought and the sea monsters he's vanquished, and their kind of life in their village. So it's really funny, but what's the most fun thing about it is that because they're Vikings, they get to run around and raid and pillage and boast, and being bad is good, and their parents absolutely don't want any sharing. And, they steal someone's birthday presents and the parents think this is fantastic. So it's a kind of wild world, but it is set within an actual Viking village.
Speaking of Vikings, what book or what experiences brought you to write about Two Terrible Vikings?
I love mythology. I've always loved Greek mythology, Norse mythology. I did medieval studies at university. I like Norse sagas. So it's a world that I know a lot about through literature. And I'm also very attracted to naughty characters. I'm very attracted to these lively, fun characters. And I thought, well, Vikings are pirates. This is absolutely it kind of suits me, that kind of wild behavior. And of course, in this world, it's absolutely the correct way. And I like things that kind of overturn norms. I was very drawn, I mean, the best book of mythology I've read in a very long time is Kevin Crosley Holland and Jeffrey Allen Love's new book on Norse mythology, with just extraordinary visuals. So for anyone who wants to find out more about the Norse gods and the Norse myths, this is just like the perfect book. And anyone who just likes mythology, this is a book I've always thought was very funny. It's called Zeus Sorts It Out. And it's these two kids who can summon Zeus to the boys' toilets at school. And Zeus is always interested in smiting and just behaving badly. It's a really funny book, and as someone who loves mythology, I really do recommend it. It's just a silly book about a Greek god, and for Norse myths, Kevin Crosley Holland's book.
I found that, and this includes your pieces of literature, I've often found that good fiction is character driven. Yeah, we care a lot about the characters' stories, their backstories, their development, their arcs. Can you tell us a little bit more, or introduce us to these two protagonists, these two main characters?
It's an interesting question because, of course, this is book one, and I'll be doing at least two more. And so I'm also getting to know the characters. So essentially, Hack and Whack are twins. Hack, the girl, is more dominant than her brother. But they are very proud to be the worst Vikings in the village. And they are kind of out of control. But they're given huge freedom. So they can just decide to steal a boat and go to another island. And, it's like, this is what you do in this society. So there's something quite freeing about these characters. And I think, during lockdown, I've enjoyed writing about characters who kind of roam freely. So, I mean, they're young, they're like 6, 7, but the kinds of things that they do are very much true things that a Viking child would do. They'll be learning to build boats. They will not be in school. Viking children did not go to school. They hate doing their chores. I mean, the standing joke in the book is that their mother is always trying to send them out to do chores, go and churn the butter and feed the pigs and go get the leeks, and they just run away. So they are really badly behaved, two very badly behaved children. Very funny, though, the kind of things, misadventures that they get up to.
You spoke about them being funny characters. And one of the hardest things, even for us lay people, us non-professional authors and writers, it's kind of understood that it's really hard to be funny, and it's even harder to write funny. And with all of the comedic elements in your writing, how do you pull it off? How do you write funny? How do you make that happen?
I always find that a really difficult question because I have a very impish sense of humor. And in fact, when my son was 6, he complained to his teacher that his mother was too silly. That was because I am silly. It's true. I understand the complaint. I do see humor in a lot of things. So I think you have to have a slightly slanted view of the world. But humor, a lot of humor comes from creating disparate characters and putting them in a room together, which is kind of what a family is. Families don't choose themselves. So all the great comic shows are about people who shouldn't be together being together. And it's pretty much putting them together and seeing what they do and say. So coming up with a character like Twisty Pants, who's always bragging, is very funny because regardless of the situation, he always goes, I fought a troll. I beat a sea monster. Good thing you found me because I'm going to sort this out. And it's just funny because you know that this is all a big fat lie. And then it gives a lot of scope for funny illustration as well. So I think creating funny characters and listening to them speak and putting them in situations where funny things are going to happen. But if you have no sense of humor, you're not going to be able to write a funny character.
While we're on the advice angle, we have a lot of readers out there, but we also, of course, have a lot of aspiring authors.
Of course.
What advice might you give them in their attempts forays to write something?
First of all, I think to have a notebook with you all the time and write down any idea that comes to you. Whatever it is, write it down, a little piece of dialogue, a funny thought. And sometimes when you read through your notes, you can combine two kind of odd ideas. The other main bit of advice I have is to finish what you start. When I was, a kid, I was always writing stories and I never finished them. And it's terrible. Everybody's good at starting a story, but it's much harder to finish one. Another really good piece of advice is to think about different types of stories, like ghost stories or adventure stories or sports stories or school stories, and then combine two of them. So for example, you could have a ghost school. You could have, like an alien sports day. You could have an animal detective. Try to mix two weird genres, and you'll come up with something more original. But the main thing is also, the other thing for a story is to think about a story as a journey. So what does the main character want? What's stopping them getting what they want? And how are they different at the end from the beginning? And you should ask yourself lots of questions, and the answer to those questions will be your story.
That's some really, really good, really practical, spot-on advice. Thank you for that.
I am very practical. Super practical.
Practicality. Most of us, most readers, or rather most writers, start out as readers.
Absolutely.
What might you say were some of your favorite books as a child?
I mean, I am one of those people who kind of reads compulsively. Like, I always feel very nervous if I don't have a book with me at all times. And like I said, I used to read about 2 books a day. I read incessantly and I read everything. I read alphabetically in my school library. Whatever it was. My favorite book as a child, and still one of my favorite books, is called Half Magic by Edward Eager. And it is still in print. And the reason I loved it so much is because it was about magic, which I love, happening to ordinary children. I've never liked stories about magic happening in a kingdom far, far away. I want it to happen here and now and to me. And these were 4 very odd, their mom, she was a single mom. And these kids just fought all the time, which I'd never seen in a book before. These very real, and they love to read, and stuff happened to them. And in Half Magic, they find a magic coin, but it only gives them half their wish. And this book's had a big impact on me because I love the idea of magic being unpredictable, that magic is not something that you can control. So with Half Magic, one of the kids wishes I wish I wasn't here. So it gives half the wish. So part of her is running away somewhere and her ghost is sitting there. Or it was just, they could never control what was happening with this coin. And I just adored it. I loved adventure stories. I loved the 3 Musketeers. I loved I loved biographies. I loved really I loved everything, but I particularly loved books about magic.
Finally, I guess we know that it's not necessarily always about the answer, but very often about the question. So if you were to pose a question to our World Book Day Book Club audience, what might that question be?
Well, I would like to know about your favorite book to reread and why. For example, Half Magic. I have probably read that book 12 times.
Wow.
And I would just like to know what book it is that you all keep reading and rereading and why that book has that hold on you.
Thank you everyone for joining us for our May World Book Day Book Club. I hope you've enjoyed listening, hearing, thinking about books. I hope you've really enjoyed listening to Francesca I hope that you guys go out and pick up the book. You'll so enjoy it. Hit us up on the website, the World Book Day website, and let us know what you thought about the book. And also maybe if you want to respond to Francesca's earlier question about what are your favorite books to reread. We've had a fantastic time here. Francesca, you're awesome. Thank you. Have a great Laugh Out Loud World Book Day. Peace.